Last week, I filmed the world's first standardized range test of the new Polestar 4 long-range single motor. The only thing about that test was the weather. The weather, guys, was terrible. We had stormy weather, we had a lot of rain, and a lot of wind, and that absolutely affected the results because we got pretty terrible consumption that day and not the best range. And I realized already at the end of filming that video that yeah, I have to do this again. So I woke up early on a Sunday and I went out after a hard week of work where I've been traveling a lot to shoot another range test of the Polestar 4 long range single motor, and hopefully in today's video we are going to get much better results.
Yeah, so my name is Hedda Hosas and I'm a race car driver, and we are here with Continental and we are testing out tires on different surfaces. So right now we're going out to test braking points on wet with the new tires and also with used tires, 1.6 millimeters, where it's allowed, I think, in Norway as well.
So we're gonna accelerate up to 85 kilometers an hour. Yeah, she's doing Oh, holy crap, that's some grip!
I think we had too much speed, let's see. Okay, because I did 100, sorry.
What?
I did 100.
Oh yeah, then it's that's the reason why you have 30 meters.
Driving too fast.
They said that?
No. I can't speak German.
You can't sprechen Sie nicht Deutsch? Keine Deutsch.
Ich bin British.
We want to go the 110 again? Or no, we want to go 85 again, okay? Ah, okay,
that's the difference. You can
that's
feel
a
that?
difference. That's a big difference.
You see, we had 30, I think it was.
30 meters, and now we have almost 36 meters. As promised, guys, I'm back in the Polestar 4 long-range single motor redoing the range test. I did this test about a week ago in this car, but the conditions were really bad. The temperature wasn't great, but the worst thing was the weather, the rain, the wind, and all the water in the road, which, gave this car really high consumption. And as I said after that video, or in that video, that I'm probably gonna redo this test. So today is a Sunday, the day before this car is going back to Polestar. And yeah, I'm reshooting the test under much better conditions. So today it is 19 degrees Celsius. We have dry roads, cloudy skies, but a little bit of drizzle in the air. So not perfect, but really close to optimal conditions because, around 20 degrees Celsius and cloudy skies means that we're not going to be running the AC at any level at all. Basically just a little bit of cold wind produced by the AC, so we're not using a lot of energy to cool down the cabin. Dry roads, of course, also, and the temperature of around, I think, like 18 to 22 degrees Celsius is probably the optimal temperature, because then the battery will be able to discharge without the chemistry in the battery will be at an optimal temperature, so we're going to have really high efficiency. We're not going to have a lot of discharge losses when we're going this speed. And also with the rest of the drivetrain, the electric motors and inverters, today we have really nice conditions for that. So yeah, so far after about 20 minutes on the road, the consumption is 23.0 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, but we do have a headwind of about 2 meters per second in the northward direction. So yeah, I think that is going to drop down a little bit at least once we get to our turnaround point, and then hopefully once we get back to where we started, it's going to be even lower. We are now at our turnaround point, and the weather, a little bit more rain, a little bit more drizzle. It is wet on the road or damp air, but I don't think it is too bad, because if we take a look at our consumption, we are at 22.4 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. So it has dropped a little bit, but I rechecked the wind map because I think I misspoke earlier that we had a headwind. We actually had a tailwind on our way up here, if any wind at all. Just looks super calm outside. So it's gonna be interesting to see 22.3 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers now, what we get once we get back to where we started. And also another thing I want to talk about, guys, is that in my first range test of this car, I was talking about the adaptive cruise control functionality and auto steer. Since then, I made that video and also, did an update in my good versus bad weather range test. If you haven't seen that, I would highly recommend you guys to check that out. But I've spoken to the adaptive automatic safety systems, the ADAS engineers at Polestar when I was in Gothenburg, told them about my issues with the car, and they're like, we're aware of this. There's going to come a big update in a few weeks. I think like week 38 or 39, there's coming a big ADAS update to this car, which is going to improve upon adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, and auto steer, all those functionalities. So wait out for that. So that's nice to see that they are addressing it really quickly after this car has just been launched, because Teslas still have issues, especially on this stretch of road with phantom braking and speed limits and stuff like that. I haven't had any instances with this car on my way up here, passing trucks that, the car phantom brakes. So that is really nice, but I had a lot of issues in my first range test. So maybe the weather just makes the system more sensitive and less reliable. Okay, we are now back here approaching our endpoint where we started this test a few hours ago. And yeah, we just had a little bit of drizzle, a little bit of damp roads, an hour ago in Moelv, where we turned around, and after about 10-15 minutes, heading back south again, the roads dried up, and yeah, clearing up a little bit now. I mean, there's still like a layer of clouds, but it's getting a little bit brighter, 19 degrees Celsius and dry roads. So yeah, it's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. And I think you guys who, have been waiting for a second test are going to be very pleased with the results of this, which I'm going to reveal in a second. So we're going to connect here to a charger like the other test. We're going to see what charging speed we're getting just after driving on the road with no preconditioning. We're just, just driving normally and letting the car, let's see where it was upper, letting the car, just naturally heat the battery, like just without preconditioning. We do that in a different test here. So we're gonna choose this charger here. I don't know why my camera moved suddenly like that. That's strange. So we're gonna connect here, and I'm gonna show you guys the actual consumption, because this is going to surprise you. Because it surprised me. I didn't think we're gonna get this low. So look at this, guys. 21.6 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. That is actually pretty decent. We've been on the road for an hour and 41 minutes, so that's the same time as we did in our other test, an hour 42 minutes, and we're here with 44% state of charge. I think we're here with 35 like the last time, so that's 9% more battery arriving here with. Okay guys, so let's connect to the charger here. And the charger is, like in our other test, on the driver's side here, and the port is actually power operated, unlike the Polestar 3, which is a little bit weird since this is, a cheaper car lower in the lineup, but it is built on a different platform. This car is built on the SEA platform. This is very closely related to the Zeekr 001, where the Polestar 3 is built on the SPA2 platform and very closely related to the Volvo EX90, the new one. So we're here with 44% state of charge now. The other day when we did this, or last week, we got like a little more than 100 kilowatts. So let's see what we're gonna get now. And that was at a lower state of charge. And yeah, that's what we're getting here. 103 kilowatts seems to be what we got at 35%. That's what we're getting at 44%. Maybe if we would have preconditioned the car, maybe this battery pack here has to be at a higher speed. Maybe the ambient temperature, or the battery temperature now is around 25 degrees Celsius because of the ambient temperature being at around 20. But the peak, that optimal battery temperature may be higher. I'm not sure. So I'm not gonna have time to do the long trip test with this car this time out, but I'm sure gonna do that later, and maybe we're gonna see a higher charging speed. But this is the second, DC fast charging session we've done with this car, now at a higher charging or higher percentage. We're getting a little bit more, 104, 105. We got 103 at a lower state of charge, last week, but still, it's not very fast. Now let's take a look at the results. So if we take the usable battery capacity of this Polestar 4 long-range single motor, which is 94 kilowatt hours usable, we take that number divided by the consumption, 21.6 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, and then we subtract 3% for heat and charging losses. That gives us a theoretical range under today's conditions of 422 kilometers, which is like 55 kilometers more than the test we did last week, which really shows you that, first off, good range for this car. I mean, not the lowest consumption, but this car also is a little bit of a weird shape, a little bit of a big size, and even though this is the rear-wheel drive version, the car with the small wheels is still on 20-inch wheels, wide tires. So I mean, it was never going to be the most efficient electric car, but that big battery pack actually gives this car really good real-world range, and it is up there among the best cars I've ever tested, getting the most range. But what we also learned from these two tests and also the other video I did, good versus bad weather, is that weather with electric cars will really affect the range more so than the temperature. Like, I think the biggest thing is wind and then just rain. Rain will make it, you know, harder for the car to push through the air with like higher air humidity and that water falling down, and also water in the road, just having more rolling resistance. These two things combined gives very different results. 368 kilometers with bad weather and 422 with good weather. That is a big difference. So I'm really glad for this type of test, for just, you know, the experiment value of testing the same car just, you know, a week apart with on the same route with close to the same temperature. I think it was between 15 and 16 degrees Celsius. Today was between 18 and 19, so that's not a big difference. But to see just how big an effect the weather has. So I'm really glad I did this test today, even though it's a Sunday and I've been traveling a lot for work and working a lot the past week. Like, I was like, do I really have to, you know, go out and do this? But yeah, I do it for you guys. I do it for the channel, and I do it for, you know, the value of finding out and answering these questions. So for that, please subscribe, please like the video, and yeah, comment down below for more. Because, you know, giving that type of feedback really shows me that you guys want more of these types of videos. So guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please drop me a thumbs up down below. And for more car content, as always, please subscribe. See you guys later and goodbye.